Okay, so we are going to begin with this next section of the Chief Culture Officer podcast, and I'm very glad to have a special guest from Greece. Okay, today I'm joined by Mr. Petros Dagdilellis, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to read a little bit about his background, right? Petros has years of experience in the corporate events industry, focusing on team building and soft skills corporate education products. He has received several awards for team building events, development, and he currently works as a consultant for different firms such as Christiansen Consulting, Loquist, Create, Play, Grow, and Summit Change Facilitators. So Petros, welcome to the Chief Culture Officer. I'm very glad that you accepted my invitation to be here.
Thank you, Francisco. Same here. It's an honor for me to be here with you.
All right, so let's begin with this chat. The idea to have you here is to learn a little bit more about how to or how is it to lead team building activities in a cross-cultural environment. Okay, you have several years working on this, and first of all, I would like to ask you if you could share with us some insights of how you became involved in the corporate events industry. I saw that you in your background has other different skills and functions in the past, but you are now more focused on this type of corporate events. And how did you become involved in this industry?
So yes, that didn't come as a decision at the beginning. It was kind of very small steps towards that direction. At the beginning, I didn't even have the knowledge, and the decision wasn't there to follow that path, to follow a path towards the team building industry. I started with outdoor activities. Early 2000, I started working for companies that did outdoor activities. So, as in many countries, so it was in Greece that these companies, the outdoor activities companies, were also doing the team building activities. Back when team building was not exactly as sophisticated as it is right now, and as multi-layered as it is right now. So I started working for several companies. I am also a mountaineer and mountaineering instructor, and I was working for the outdoor industry. And at some point, I was asked if I wanted to help with some of the corporate clients of these companies that they were doing team building activities. So this is how it started. Later on, it really fascinated me. My studies were in marketing, my first degree. So I have worked a bit in the corporate environment. I really liked the way people change through these activities, not only on knowledge base, but also on character. You can see a shift there when you do that consistently and with specific you follow a specific path with them, and that really made me turn more into team building. I have then decided to go and study, had a master's degree in adventure tourism management, which had a lot in there again for the outdoor sector and also the team building. And from then on, I was following seminars and webinars about team building and gamification. All these steps led me, I think it was 2004 or 2005, when I started working as a facilitator. So it took a good 5 years to evolve. It was an evolution, and the market was evolving too back then.
Sure.
And it kind of dragged me into it. The market was small and became a lot bigger through the first decade of the 2000. So yeah, this is the early steps of how I got into that.
Okay, so several years now, and what I found interesting is that you not only coordinate or lead these events, however, you also create the different activities. You are the designer in many of these events, and you have been awarded because of that as well. So I would like to ask you, what is more satisfying for you, the creative part, okay, to imagine what would be interesting for the people, or being with the people, trying to, in the event itself, working with the people and leading with these events that you already designed before?
Okay, so this is a very hard question to answer. If I had to choose, I would go for the design of the team building product, and I would call them products, but in my head they are games, and this is how we refer to it. But I wouldn't be in that position to be able to build these games from scratch according to the customer needs, or build games that I just happen to have in my head for some time and I want to put them into action, if it wasn't for almost 2 decades on the field. You can't really have the one without the other. So right now I prefer to be behind the desk designing, because I find it challenging to create a game, and it's really, really hard to create a game that covers all aspects of what a team building session should have, which is a game that it has to be absolutely perfect. And by that we mean games have specific characteristics. I'm not going to get into that, it's a bit technical. But you need a perfect game, but then not only a perfect game, you need a game that will offer the base for the facilitator to be able to then debrief and get things out of what happened during the game. And that's a double challenge. So that's what I like to do right now.
Sure.
But I really enjoyed myself all these years with all these people, and it has been an amazing journey. I learned and evolved with these people that I was with, and offering my services, because it's not just it's not a one-way thing. It offers both to the participant and to the facilitator a lot of I would say wisdom. You get wiser.
Sure.
You learn to expect things and to make let's say you make a lot less assumptions, which is great.
So let's talk about the other part, okay? Not to be behind the desk, but to be with the people. I think that a team building event is kind of the same everywhere. However, people react different, okay, depending on many factors, depending on even because of their cultures, okay? There are cultures, for example, Latin Americans, we are very close, very collectivist, we say that in the cross-cultural field, so we like to be with each other. However, there are other cultures that are more like individualist, and I don't know if they react the same in a team building event or game. So can you tell us about some differences that you experience when working with these different cultures in an event or in a game? Can you remember some interesting anecdotes or something that you can share with us?
So there are for sure so many differences that sometimes it feels like a minefield. But if you if you look at it from the perspective of what multiculturalism is right now, and how we can grow through that as people, in personality. This is an amazing gift. That's what I was talking about in the previous answer. There are so many anecdotes. First of all, the characteristics are there, and let me tell you, it's not just about the cultural thing. There are so many things that can affect the people who participate in team building, from the fact that the weather is maybe very hot or very cold, all the way to if they had enough sleep. But on the cultural aspect, because that's the question, I've seen so many things, and it took so many different sessions to realize how many different types of brains are out there. And it's not just about cultural. For cultural, I have an anecdote which it's one of my favorite, and it has to do with people. I was in I think it was Tunisia, and we had a session there with the MSP, the university there, the Mediterranean Business School in Tunisia. And it was the first time down there. I've been there multiple times now, but the first time down there, I realized these people, I mean, the students from that university, most of them were, I would say 95% of them were from Africa. And I haven't been working with the African people a lot back then. And it struck to me how they were very, very into creating a collective mind. And you would see that the ego and the personality was going to the lowest level during their sessions when they were discussing about the problem and how to solve it. You could see they had a collective mind. I can't really explain it, but I was amazed by it. And there's no way you can see that in that aspect, in that level, in USA or in Europe. I mean, Westerners, we like to keep our personality more and be more, so to speak, aggressive in the team, trying to prove something sometimes. And it's not bad. It's a different approach, and that's the whole thing. You see different approaches, but it was amazing. I really admired the way these people were working, and next time I went there, and the next time, I really expected that. And it was kind of an experiment, let's say, in my head, like, was it just one team, or is this something that has to do with culture? And it was cultural. At the end, I was discussing with them, and it came out that, it's more on the cultural side. So this is something that really made me feel, wow. I mean, you learn so many things when you have all these people from around the world.
Yes, just another question related to this. Do you find differences, for example, between, I don't know, Greece, where you live, and Estonia, where you work, for example? I mean, you work for a firm from Estonia, or different firms from that part of the world that are also kind of different, okay, because of their geography, because of many reasons. Do you find differences in these different working environments as well in Europe?
I do everywhere I go, and I think Europe is. I think Europe and most of these continents. I would say also, of course, Africa and South America, because you have so many different cultures and so many different countries. It's amazing how many things are. You are united with your differences, and It's amazing. So it's kind of a puzzle, and Greeks are, I'd say, 1 foot of the Greeks are in Western civilization, and the other foot is on, close to Middle East. So we are kind of a mix in between two different, and we the country is right in between those two different cultures, and we have sometimes they say we took the worst from both cultures, but that's not the case. I'm just talking. But yeah, I mean, I'm talking with the guys from Estonia, from Denmark, and Holland, and Northern Europe is a lot different than Southern Europe on the approach to life. I admire how Northerners have found this balance between professional life and their life with their families and kids. It's very, very hard to find that not only in Greece, but also in all of the Mediterranean. People are so confused on separating professional life and personal time. And that's because we tend to, work a lot through the day, maybe because we don't organize our time too much. And there are many differences. And during my right now professional, let's say, life with Christensen Consulting, there have been times that I was thinking, am I now doing something bad, or am I now doing something that I shouldn't be doing? This, the way I'm doing it. The good thing is the people I'm working with are also, I would say, citizens of the world. I mean, Christensen Consulting, Jens Christensen, the owner, he's Danish. So he grew up in Denmark and he moved to Estonia. He's now there for 20 odd years. So they're all very, very open to differences and different cultures. I think this is how everybody should be. And there's nothing to lose by being open to other people and being open to other cultures. There's only gain.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Petros. We don't have too much more time, but I really appreciate that you accepted my invitation. I enjoyed a lot to talking to you about your experiences and to hear about how you see your work across different cultures. So thank you very much again for accepting my invitation. I hope that we can have a second chance in the future. All right? Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I hope I'll see you again in the future.